Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Okay. Minutes of the previous meeting, review and approval. Oh, okay, that's right. You're right. Yeah, we'll do the December 13th first. We need to redo the minutes from the 13th and December 27th. We'll do the December 13th meeting first. Approval of the December 13th meeting, the minutes of that meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Shane. Second, Craig. Okay. Likewise, motion for December 27th meeting, the minutes of that meeting to be approved.
Get easy on the secretary.
That was my mistake.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on.
We're doing minutes right now,
Took the vote yet, right?
yeah. Yeah, we started early. Wait for Jane. Yeah, I thought you said you needed a minute to review the
No, I
minutes.
said that we need a vote. We need to vote.
Okay.
Let's
Make
go.
sure that- make sure
Motion
they're okay. Make
to
sure they're
approve the
correct.
minutes from last month's meeting.
The motion's been made, you need to vote on, you need to vote on.
Oh, okay, we just need to vote. Okay, all in favor, vote aye. Nays, abstentions. The ayes have it. Let's see, Michelle Gagowski, bill list. review.
On the bill list, there's the date 12/13/22, that should be corrected to today, 1/10/2023. All the other dates though, for the bills are correct. It's just the top one is wrong, incorrect. And I do have two additions. First one is Evans Electric for lighting, $354.
That's for here, right?
That is for here, yes.
What was that, 300?
I'm sorry, $694. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, and this one we have, Brown Restorations. This is, let me see, he has two bills, $1,315 for the truck, the spotlight, the bed liner, and the other one we have here is he here still?
He might be out there in the back, yeah.
Okay. We have, $242 oil change, for oil changes.
Okay.
So, it looks to me like there's 3 oil changes here. This is out of the general fund, $242, and then out of liquid fuels for our truck, $1,315.
Is everything itemized?
Yes,
Even on the electric bill?
on the electric bill it is, yes. Lighting throughout the office area, removed fluorescent tubing and rewired, removed and installed new LED stealth motion detector floodlight, rear side entrance. Materials and labor.
Yeah. I just wanna say, I did see the truck, I don't know if anybody else was over by the garage, but Earl was there that day, and he wanted to show me the work that, he did. And that box was all rusted away, and, he sanded it right down and got all the rust off before he put whatever the finish was, and to salvage that truck for another.
Oh, yeah, well, he bought quite a few more years.
Yeah, yeah,
Work he just put
exactly,
in the
so,
body.
yeah, that was probably the bigger part of the, of that
We don't
building.
use it that often, so might as well keep it around.
Yeah, he's keeping it going and all that, so
We
we
don't
don't
have to
have to
pay
go
him,
anywhere.
so.
We didn't get anywhere in that grant yet that we looked for, but, hopefully another one comes up and then maybe we can, find a way to apply again for another grant for a truck. Okay. Let's see. Motion on the floor then to, pay the bills?
I just have one more question. What's the in-sync? Is that for the
That's
software?
an annual for the police
I thought so.
software, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. And then J&J Security, that's part of the, must be, right?
Yeah.
The package that we signed with them.
Yes.
Millen's
What's that,
Evergreen,
Sean?
What's that?
How much was J&J's?
$97.50. $97. Millen's Evergreen, that was for that tree that we just had to do, right?
Yes.
The emergency tree.
Thank you, Shane.
Yeah, no, that was good.
No, we all had a
Everybody
part of
checked
it
it
there,
out and-
tree set.
Just wonder why that J&J bill so little.
No, J&J would pay the big one the month before,
That's
but
half.
this one,
Oh.
$97.50, was for the police station. Police station.
I'm sorry, police station for the computer, is it itemized?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that for when you camera for the computer and stuff? 'Cause the cameras aren't
Put
helping.
cameras on a computer in the police station.
Building's not done, right?
Where?
This building.
We don't have it
Yeah,
here.
you do.
No, not that I know of.
Right.
You never call me to come down.
Repeat that again, Shelley, I'm sorry.
$97.50, it was labor, October 31st, 2022, Joe, put cameras on a computer in the police station.
Oh, that's when he came, because the police couldn't get the feed from the park
Okay,
to here. He had to update the system and everything to the, that's what that bill's for.
okay, okay.
That's not for the cameras.
I seen the one over the garage too, it really picked
Yeah.
out some nice stuff there
They're,
too.
yeah, they're done. Okay, that's what that bill's for. That's
That's
what
when you first walk
$37
around
for.
and stuff.
Update the computer, okay. Thank you, sorry.
Thanks, Shelley. I'll make a motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Shane,
Pass the bills.
second by Donnie Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion has 6-0. We have a report, the police report?
Yep, I have.
You got a report, you read it there?
Yep.
Thanks.
We had 4 disabled vehicles, 3 assist police agencies, 1 welfare check, 2 noise complaints, 3 public assist motors, 3 suspicious persons, 3 suspicious vehicles, 1 non-traffic citation, 2 verbal traffic warnings given, 4 traffic citations issued, 12 investigations, 47 total calls for the month of December.
Thank you, Mayor. Anything else you have?
No, sir.
Okay. Next, we go to the, well, we don't have the zoning officers here, and we didn't get a report like we asked for, even if there wasn't anything done, so, I'll follow up on that. Solicitors report.
She's digging.
Here because, let me see, in sync, the only thing we have here is $112.85, that's on the bill list.
Okay.
It says here zoning hours, 1.75 hours, and $7.85 for postage. This was, Anthony visited 15 Maple Street following a complaint.
Okay,
An hour, created zoning violation, drove to the post office and bought postage. And we have the invoice for the postage.
okay, excellent. And they were on Maple Street, okay, that's a good thing too.
could do that every month if you want.
If you would, yeah, if you don't mind, yeah.
As far as the minutes, should those specifics be included in the minutes though, or just report given?
You could, yeah, why don't you put down, yeah.
I'll report attached.
Well, then I have to attach it, so
No, but she.
I need a copy of that then.
Well, we should have a file in our file cabinet that every month she can stick it in the report.
Shelley has.
Do you just keep it with your bills? So
Yeah.
report given and attach with the invoice,
Yeah.
okay? All right.
Okay. Attorney Chris Farrell?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Did we skip the mayor, or was that?
You said that.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no, that's all right.
Thank you.
Watching
Okay.
out for you.
Thanks.
We go to, committee reports, and,
No,
oh, no,
correspondence.
guest citizens, I'm sorry.
No
guest
correspondence.
citizens.
Correspondence first, huh?
Correspondence.
Oh, we need correspondence yet? Okay.
Okay, so,
Correspondence review, you got it.
all right, so I have a list from the county, updated officials for the borough. I know who needs to be updated, but there are a lot of names on here that I'm not familiar with. So if, we can take a look at this, it has to be into, by January 13th. So, yeah. So if I give that to you, will you take, and will you make a copy then for me?
Yes.
And then that way I can update what we have here in the building. Because that one that's on the wall is definitely not updated either.
I'll check ours and make sure you're right.
Well, okay, yeah, so take a look at your stuff and then pass it back to Jane. All right, and then I have, for the ambulance services for the month of December, there were 80 dispatches, 71 responses, 9 times unavailable, 26 calls were in Waymart, 1 was not covered. I have from the Waymart Area Authority regular meeting. I won't read it all, but I have the meeting minutes if anybody wants to take a look at them. Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go to guests and citizens, but I wanna start out with the fire department because they're gonna give us an update on what you have.
All right.
All right,
So, how are you? I'm Josh Anderson. I'm the new Waymart Fire Chief.
all right, Josh?
This is Adam. He's going to be the new president this year coming in.
All right, Adam?
I have our monthly report for you. I'm not going to read it off. We had 8 structure fires, 6 MVAs, 2 audible alarms, 2 public assist, 3 medical calls, 3 traffic patrols, 1 pole fire, 1 brush fire, and we ended the 22 year with 206 calls.
Wow.
Yeah. And I also have the list of my new officers on the back of this. You can have it, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thank you guys.
Okay.
Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to working with you.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Yep, no problem.
And girls.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for bringing Santa Claus around too.
No problem.
Everybody waits for that.
No problem.
Must have spent a whole day doing that on the fire truck. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, our other guest citizen is Michelle, and I don't know, I'll probably keep your name up because I just did your penmanship there, but you are up, young lady.
Okay.
Okay.
Jean, I kind of, this is about the water, drainage. I think we addressed some of that. And my yard seems to be still taking on a little bit of water. And I think I kind of know where it's coming from, that,
Tell them where you live.
I'm sorry,
Tell
Where
them
you
where you live.
Yeah, where you live, so we know.
Prospect Street,
Prospects.
Yeah. 111.
Okay.
And, I do notice that when we still have bad weather, it seems to be coming down from the other, the house that's on the corner there, and it's leaching right like into my field and creating like a little ice skate rink where this little heavy, would rain. And I think it's, from that reason, it's just whenever they get a lot of rain or a lot of water, it comes into they like go right down and it rains in.
Are you on the
field.
swell side?
I'm sorry?
Are you on the side with the swell?
Are you on, is it coming from Holmesdale Road side?
Honesdale Road, yeah.
So the house across the street from Holmesdale Road to your?
No, it's, back, Red Bull, that's right, where all yards meet.
Okay.
It's that first You know which one, right, Jane, when we were there that day? Yeah, and I thought it was better, it had been better, but I noticed that last rain, I guess because they get a lot of rain, then they're pumping it, so maybe they just need to put a little hose and redirect it, so it doesn't go directly downhill to mine, you know, and then it does come into right down into my house, and, you know, lands down.
Is that a sub pump you're using? The mayor just thought that you're using a sub pump, or?
No, they're using the sub pump, is that what
I
you're
think
using?
that's, yes,
Right, okay, that's what you
because,
get.
yeah, and I do have a picture where, like, where the snow melted, where you could see, like, it just comes right out there.
Did you ask them if they could redirect it for you, or you have?
Well, I think it's Randy Thorpe, but he's missing
Okay,
tonight,
okay.
so.
I'm sure Randy'd be okay with changing it around a little bit, but, I don't know.
I thought most of it was solved when you paved the street there. on Prospect.
What, that-
No, I don't even know what we're talking about.
The corner property.
I'd have to look at it, no clue. It's the first time hearing of it, so
Yeah,
I'll take a look at it, sure.
Yeah.
But if it sounds like it's coming from the neighbor's house, not from the road, so,
Correct.
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
so wouldn't have anything to do
So-
with paving.
If they,
So I don't know, could be just a sub pump issue. If Randy's the owner, I would start there first. I don't think we can really step in. But I would knock on your neighbor's door and see if they can redirect it. Otherwise, if it's on private property, to private property.
well, I'd like to see if I can get it addressed as
Mhm.
much as I can here.
You're gonna hate my answer, but it's not a borough issue, it's an issue between two private property owners.
Mhm.
And there's nothing we can do,
Because it's just a rental, so,
whether it's a rental or whether it's owned and occupied by the owner. It's a private issue between two property owners. One property owner can't divert their water onto somebody else's property and cause an issue.
Mhm.
So you might have something there, but it's not our argument to make, and we can't really be involved in it. And this is not the first time I made this little speech here at Waymart Borough meetings, and everybody hates it, but that's what the law is.
and even if it's because of drainage, like when we do get the rain, then it does cause it to go down, you
If
know, in
Waymart,
general.
if Waymart Borough did something to change the flow of water and that's causing you a problem, then Waymart Borough would have an interest in the issue, but we don't.
Mhm.
If it's coming from your neighbor and if they're putting a sump pump out onto the grass and it's going down and causing you difficulty, that's an issue you have to address privately with that property owner.
All right, thank you,
Sorry.
it's okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay, let's see, where are we here? Okay, I do have a couple things that, there was nobody else on there, right? No, we're good, okay. I just had a few things to talk about, in regards to, the upcoming meetings, and, one is the volunteers for Waymart. I talked to Shane's mother, and they're gonna do that again this year. We missed an opportunity because we were pretty busy last year. We have down Borough Building, Power Wash Building, and ramps, and these are Jane's recommendations, and I believe that she's right on, they need to be done. D&H Depot, Power Wash Building, not ramp. Ambulance Building, Power Wash and Paint Building. Ford Borough Garage, Power Wash and Paint Building. All materials can be purchased from Waymart Building Center, paints, brushes, etc. So I did talk to her, and she said, how about April? And I said, how about the middle of April? And so that is what we're set on. She said they'd send a representative down and see the jobs that are wanting to be done. And they would she'll have us booked for the middle of April. Unless something changes, and then I'll let you know, but it sounded pretty good.
What do we have to supply this? The materials?
The materials, and then they supply the labor. And they used to use inmates, now they use staff. So you have staff coming down in your town instead of inmates to, well, you can lease them out yourself if you wanna get some grass cut and done, but,
Do we have to supply
Huh?
do we have to supply the power wash?
you know what, that was another thing, we're gonna need power wash. I know Darren ain't here, and Jane mentioned that he has a power wash. Do we have any over the garage we can, I thought I saw one over there. Okay, so okay, so that's two we'll have to use. And if we can get a third one, she said if you have three, but they must be gonna try to do it all at once. So that's all I have on that. Where else am I here? further. Now, we just talked about a dead tree, okay? And, I'm gonna bring this up because it's something that we're gonna have an ordinance on. There's so many trees in town that are ready to stand up or fall down. So we had that situation that Teresa called Shane on, and then he called me, and we went over there and we saw it hanging over the road. So in our situation, you can't leave a tree hang over the road, so we took it down. I talked to Chris a little bit about this, and my wife did a little researching for me, and it says here, if a dead tree or dying tree is directly on the property line, in this case, there's a joint venture to take the tree down. The other part is, even if your town has maintained a tree over years, don't expect the municipality to pay for its removal. Although Pennsylvania municipalities control the use of streets, including trees grown within the street limits, the municipality has the right to impose the cost of the tree removal on the abutting property owner. If your local municipality chooses not to bill you, that is their option if the property owner's tree comes down. Even if they have done it in the past, don't expect municipalities to continue to front the bill in the face of the extraordinary cost of removal and the scope and current future tree blight numbers deferment is probable. So what they're saying is we're not liable to pay for any tree that comes down. It would be the property owner in that area, this one being the Green family. And then that means we could go half and half. We can not allow them, not have them pay and start anew, or and then have the ordinance in place so that we don't get caught up with it. This was $1,200, and there's a lot of trees like that, and they're pretty big and they're pretty old, and so
There's some monster maples on that street.
and Holmesdale Road is really loaded with a lot of trees out there. So right now, and I don't know if you want to add anything, Chris, but I believe we're not liable from what I read and talking to Chris.
Yeah, the only issue is when you have a tree issue,
Yes.
you have to have a survey to see who owns the tree.
Is that what it is then?
Yeah.
Okay, because you did go with it. Okay.
You have to know who owns it, whose property is it
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
thinks they know where the line is. I actually had a case in court at the magistrate. The magistrate said up front, whose property is it on? And I'm not gonna make that decision without a survey.
So the survey is gonna be $1,200 per lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And that's why we did take the tree down. Then they said we broke their fence. The tree uprooted and broke their fence. Well, there's a little area where the fence wire was cut.
I'm still not sure that the tree wasn't wholly on their property.
Yeah, right,
May
exactly,
have been.
exactly, and it could be. And so what the borough needs to do is come up with an ordinance of sort and make sure we let everybody know that if a tree comes down on your property or in the road from your property, it's gonna be your liability at this point. Because we can't afford to keep paying $1,200 to go around town taking trees down.
yeah, that was a small tree too.
Yeah, that was a small tree too. That's a good point too. Yeah. I appreciate those who went up to look at it. And that's all I got for right now. We got Shane Bailey, Streets and Roads.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything to report.
Okay.
May I be recognized?
One.
Well, real quickly, what if a tree falls and utility damage is done? Is that on the property owner?
Well, we're gonna learn more about this as we go on. Now, the tree falls and it falls on where?
And then it does utility damage, like
Kind of
putting some
power lines?
wires down and all that. Is that up?
There's something like if the tree's 3/4 dead or something.
Yeah.
It's on the property owner.
Oh.
They have to replace it.
Okay.
That's what only because
Yeah.
I've had experience with it.
Yeah.
It's a PP&L thing. If
Well,
the
that's
tree's
right.
like 3/4 dead and you don't normally remove it,
Mhm.
you gotta pay for the power pole and stuff. I know about that.
Oh,
I know
okay.
that's.
Okay, so you get all that with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit more
You handle
research to
the
do.
pole.
Thank you.
And not just one guy comes down.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah, and I know, there's an outstanding group of fine workers.
Yeah, outstanding. Keyword is standing.
Okay, Shane, you had nothing to report?
Don't.
Mr. Spielberg?
The cameras are in at the baseball field, in the garage. Thank you, Chippy, for letting them in. They're up and running, and we still have to get them in here, but that's between the chief and J&J, because the chief's gotta be here for them to get the police office, so we can hook them up there and get them up and running. mess, and we just start thinking about blacktop. and
Yeah,
everything.
it sure
But I was
is.
thinking, maybe after they finish building that house up
Oh,
there,
sure, yeah.
those concrete trucks will so not just patch for the year. I don't know who's in charge of that up there, what the time frame is or anything, but I wanna hold off, just have to patch that. Where we left off on South Street, going
Yeah.
up towards Grimm's.
Right.
That road's
What house are you talking about?
right in front of,
The Laurel Place construction, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
they're
talking about.
having-
Yeah,
Holding off until after.
Who's cutting that down, do you know?
I know, I don't know. I don't know who's got the contract or anything,
I don't know who it is either.
you know, but I'm saying we should maybe put off till next year. We'll have to patch it this year, it's a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah, okay.
But
Well, we're gonna see how much money you have, and I don't wanna touch base with Shane on that one. What the revenue is from liquid fuels versus what we have left over. And we're gonna look at a road and see how big of a road we can do, because we believe doing them all the road instead of leaving gaps, you get a better bang for your buck. And-
oh yeah, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't recommend doing it till.
Right,
Well, the place
so
built.
whatever's going on there is over.
What is the status of Phillips's house?
Personal or professional?
I guess the firemen know more than about that house than I do, but,
I haven't seen any activity up there, to be honest with you, I don't know.
I think they have it listed for sale on Zillow. I think I just saw it on Zillow.
there's a terrific amount that needs to be cleaned up.
I know,
And we do have a demolition ordinance, it's a very good one.
yeah, I was gonna bring that up too, I don't know, something's gotta be done, it's gotta be more than a month.
But yeah, most places have a deadline, and I haven't read the ordinance in a long time, and I don't remember what I said.
Is that 142 Center Street?
On
South
South Street.
Street.
Oh, sorry. Donnie, your house is still, in case one.
What happened?
I don't know if this, I have to find, I don't know even where they are, to be honest with you.
They're up at the lake and the cottage.
You're a little private investigator. Huh?
I
Well,
like-
Maggie P.I.
I always like to know what's going on, Waymart.
It's her street, South Street, she represents, she knows it, though.
Okay.
I just gotta find
Guess I
out
gotta be
the
careful about
insurance
South
company
Street.
and stuff.
I had,
I'm sure that's what's holding it up,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know, usually it
well, his
is.
brother's a contractor, that's why I thought maybe.
Huh?
His brother's a contractor.
Right. Sometimes you shouldn't hire family though.
That's true too.
Fellows. That was his first name.
Okay, we good?
I'll investigate that,
Okay.
about the
I'll buy
house.
you, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll come over and hook up with you, call me,
You know,
and I'll take up, cause
the house, it's a mess.
I don't,
You
yeah.
know, it's,
I probably could pick it up on by, but maybe, yeah.
yeah, it's,
And then we'll check out that job site over on the other corner, see what those guys are up to.
Yeah.
Cutting trees.
yeah, get the locks down and
I'm
stuff.
worried about rodents when it comes to.
Well, yeah, I am too, that's what I'm
With
saying.
that, because there's a lot of things in there that are vegetation and food.
Mhm. All right, I'll check into that too.
All right, we move on. Donnie Miller?
Oh, the only thing I have is UGI sent some emergency, what you do, I don't know where you want to put it,
Yeah.
in case of emergency numbers and everything.
We can hang it.
Yeah, you know what, we will hang it there.
Have you been checking the,
We're running out of walls.
AED?
Yes.
Okay. Has a policeman been checking the AED? No? Okay.
Okay, we ready to move on again? Okay, Donnie, thanks for that, we will hang that. Darren's absent, purchasing and building, Randy Thorpe is excused, Jane Barco, planning.
Yes, I was gonna ask Randy tonight if I'd have permission to buy some big folders to put some of this material that we're getting in, like for the, Bobcat of Wayne County. And we also need 3 cartridges for that, for that machine there. Can I have permission to use your debit card and order that stuff? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right, I'm gonna pass this around, at the request of we, wanna know where we are on the American Rescue Plan, so if you do, take a copy of that, please.
Thank you, Jim, for that too.
Anybody else want a copy of this report?
What Jane did for the council is made a report out of assets, expenditures, what's going on in commitments from the American Rescue Plan, the Joe Biden plan that we got money from the county. And actually, Jane worked hard to get a lot of the money that we got from the county. So,
Well, the assets, of course, I did go to the commissioner's office today and I took some of the bills to add over $30,000 so that they will reimburse us for that $30,000.
okay,
So that is not in our treasury yet, but we will be getting it.
awesome.
Expenditures, you're very well acquainted with most of them, the AEDs, the cleanup day, Heinz Outdoor Service. The American Legion is partly done because they have not put their boiler in yet, the furnace. The volunteer fire company, of course, we bought the washer and dryer to sterilize and clean their turnout gear. And then Mill and Tree Service, they took down that tree that ash tree that was dead by the Wilson Field. And they also, which they reported tonight, the emergency removal of the tree up on Marion Florence Street. And Tom Shepstone has committed 2 bills so far, which Shelley has paid. And so altogether, what we have actually spent is $50,469.64. We do have 2 commitments. We have one to the American Legion for their gas boiler, $5,600. And the second thing is an unknown thing, it's $35,000. I still have the grant in, hoping and praying that we get the grant. And I also, as a side note there, I still have the grant in to buy a new truck, and I have not heard from either one yet, whether they're going to fund them or partially fund them. And I figure about $3,000 to $3,500 will finish Tom Shepstone. He wants to have a meeting with us, and he would like to sit down and present the ordinances and present some ways to simply re-adopt them, and also concerned about who is going to administer them and who is going to issue citations to them. This is something we need to decide. And then we never decided about Wayside Park. So it appears we have a lot of money, but we do have some other commitments.
Right. And in regards to Mr. Shepstone, for using the audience that don't where he's doing all of our ordinances. Our ordinances are being all updated and reviewed and changed where need to be changed, so that when we have a problem, we have an updated ordinance to go after whoever it might be to resolve the situation. What was I going to say here?
He's going to ask for a special meeting in March.
Yeah.
We'll have it completed in March.
I was down to Park today, and we did the trees last fall, and we cleaned it up pretty well. Shane and I are gonna do around those stumps in the spring. We're gonna box them in for flower pots or whatever. So we hide the stump, because the stumps and everything is on here, and we make a mess. So what I'm doing right now is, the reason why we put the Christmas tree and light it where it is because that's pretty much where the power is. All the power that was in the ground was done within plastic casing over the years. Those trees got bigger, and the trees uprooted and broke off the lines. That's why we don't have power in there. And so I called up Grim, and Grim told me to call up Wallace, because they don't have an electrician right now. Gary Bates is working part-time, and he's gonna give me a price on getting power to the flagpoles for the veterans and light that up, and get power in other corners where we can. So we have some electricity in there, so if you wanna do something different in the park, you'll have power in different corners. And that's only if the bid is good. There's a couple places we could look at and cut if we don't like the price, if the price is a little bit too much, okay? That's all I have for now, so.
But I just wanted to
Go ahead,
say that, we should decide in the next few months what else we're going to spend this rest of this money on, because there's no guarantee that a year from now that it's still going to be there. And so if we're going to put things in the park or whatever, we need to have a committee to work together of what we want in the park. I do have the report from, our, person in Homestead, what's his name, his name, Mike Wood, and I do have his recommendations. And we've had some discussions on whether to add things by steps, and also whether we should apply for a grant. There'll be grants opening up this spring, and I bet by the next meeting, I want you to tell me what I should be applying for and what I should try and find money for. And getting back to Bobcat of Wayne County, they're continuing with the problem, and they're sorting them out. They just applied for the highway occupancy permit and just sent me a copy of it.
What was that again? Highway
occupancy
Occupancy.
permit. And, I noticed that the building is being done in the back there for the little trailers. I think we need to have the zoning officer check to see if it's meeting all the qualifications of their permit.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because they're stretching down that little roadway a little bit with some of their equipment.
Well, I just wanna make sure they have their setbacks correct too, because that's over in
Yeah,
your
by Wayne
direction,
and- yeah.
by Wayne and so.
Okay, is there any money in there for the park? Can we use money from that?
Yes, we can use it
To
for
do the
any,
power and anything like that too?
about anything.
Okay, all right, just one.
Jane, how about street signs and,
We could do
Traffic
street signs.
Yeah.
Yes, we could, but we need to have, somebody needs to go and write down all the street signs in Waymart, which is over 100
Right.
street signs.
Hey, thank you, Michelle, sorry we couldn't be more helpful. But anyway, I think if you talk to them.
Shane, is the 3,500 from Tom, is that what he thinks will finish out his bill?
35,000.
The 3,500 left?
Yeah, well, I just put that down.
Oh, okay.
I talked to him on the phone yesterday, and the first bill, of course, or the second bill was 2,500, and the first bill was almost 4,000, so we had put originally in the budget $10,000, but it's,
When will we know about the Wilson Field matching funds? Do you have any idea?
well, we're supposed to know in December.
Oh,
We-
okay.
We didn't,
Yeah.
haven't received anything.
So we could still have.
We could still have that much chance, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, we still have about 100,000
Yeah.
left if that doesn't go through
Yeah,
to put into the park and elsewhere.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'm glad you mentioned the ballpark again, because, I wanted to have a committee too, like you do, and I think we should do that for the playground area, so that we can get together, pick something out, get a vote on it, and make sure everybody's happy with what we're doing at the same time.
picking out the equipment's the easy part, the hard part is
Yeah.
trying to get somebody to install it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many rules and regulations and laws about how to keep kids safe, of how far away they have to be from them, what has to be underneath, how it has to be secured,
Yeah.
goes on and on and on.
Do you know what, you have a committee, I think you should probably include maybe called Dave, Murray.
With Dave Murray,
Okay.
Because I
You know, with
think
the insurance.
depending on those
Yeah.
equipment,
Yeah.
what type you use
Yeah.
may, definitely ensure the
Well, we
liability.
hired Woodland Design a few months back
Yes.
to look into it.
We
To start designing.
we have all the recommendations, we
Mhm.
just never did anything with it.
Right.
We should all get together in a committee and go down to that park on a nice day and walk through it and see the areas we have.
Have a picnic?
Because even Earl said that where the small rides are for the smaller children,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff,
Yeah.
all the mulch, wooden mulch is all away from all the excess underneath the playground. And, it needs something, but I told them hang in there if we
Mhm.
could.
But I think before we finalize anything, we should really find out about the matching funds, because that could be a good chunk of change that could go into that field.
Yeah.
Or the field or the
It's
park.
It's
Well-
just overwhelming, there's so many. Oh, I forgot to mention that, I'm going Thursday to the meeting for the Wayne County, Tourism Promotion Funding. And if you remember last year, I got $4,000 to build the platform for the, train out here. And, it's a meeting that's at Settlers on Thursday, and it's a free event, and I understand they have quite a lot of money in the Wayne County tourism promotion. So, hopefully I can find some money there, perhaps, to purchase maybe things like benches or tables or something like that. And I've had 4 people speak to me, senior citizens, and they would love to have a pavilion in the park too, and that's on Mike Wood's.
Right.
Well,
So,
That'd be great.
it's.
and that should be easy to find down there now that it's open.
But I have to hire somebody, you realize that, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
The law says I have to hire, so I'm gonna hire Ellen Wood, because she can get it directly
It's
from her father,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And she is a certified, environmentalist.
yeah. And she was on, while he was on toward the end of his career
Yeah.
there, getting.
He's
mentored.
semi-retired, yeah.
Now, Jane, is this American Rescue Money, is this a use it or lose it thing?
Well, so far it isn't. So far we use it, and, they don't consider the people, but that doesn't mean a change of we've seen strange things happen with politics lately.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that somebody doesn't turn around and say, this is the end, we're gonna freeze the rest of the money. And that's always a specter in back of me wondering, you know.
So they could yank it on us.
That's why we need to seriously consider how we're gonna spend the rest of it.
Right.
Shall we form a committee?
We should,
I
because I
think
mean,
we
it's
should.
January, let's do it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
winter time, things are
Yeah.
small, I mean, because you're not gonna get everybody together in the summertime.
We should
right?
ask
So,
Michelle, of course, to be on the committee too.
you know, yeah, so,
Well, she's not a voting member, I love Michelle, she's a
Well,
part
does
of
it need to
it.
be council members, or can it be community members to be on committees?
Right, then who do you tell can come and who can't come,
I
or you
think,
bring them all?
I think it should be community-wide, anybody that wants to be on it.
So maybe
On the
that,
committee, or just coming to while we speak about what we wanna do, and then they can debate what they think needs to be done. I don't know if you put them right on the committee.
look at that, Jane.
I have no more comment.
Oh, boy.
So
Okay.
let's,
I've already made my comments.
Okay, well, thank you for that then. Let me see.
I think we need to act.
Unfortunately, Randy and
I have one on the ball field then. I wanna form a committee too, we'll do committees. I want you to be ahead of the ball field committee along with Darren Howell, because Darren Howell was hooked up with Kyle Barna. And did you know Kyle? Well, he does. They hung out and they were a part of the group that donated $20-some thousand through their own money.
Kyle Barner ran the Homer
Home-
Classic
Homer,
for all those years, and
And then they
donated the
sent
money to
23,000 in, so that's to put toward that field. And I believe there's 160-some thousand in total in, not monies, but labor and materials. And I'd like to see us get started on that either way. We can still go for the grants, Jane, even if we start the, wait, well, just the grunt, the
Just
survey.
remember though, you always have a year to know whether you're gonna get a grant.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
part of the
Well, we
problem.
can always add to that, that's what I'm
We
saying.
definitely need Joe Gilat on the committee.
Okay, you know what, bring Joe Gilat down then. And we'll hear him out, and then if he's gone as far as he can, then we're gonna move on anyway, to get the field, the drainage in it with the money we have if we get it back, okay?
Okay.
So Darren and yourself, okay?
So-
And then if
so
any,
Craig Darren, Kyle Barna, Joe Gilat.
well, Kyle Barnes, yeah, Kyle Barnes, and I don't know who else he'd wanna bring, Heather, so I'll give him a call, okay? We gotta do something down there, we have some money, $100-some thousand.
Mhm.
And we'll do what we can, and then what we can't afford, we'll piecemeal it over time. If they get grants, we'll add to it that way, okay? That's it for me, I think.
Okay, you wanna wait on the park then?
We want to wait on
Yeah,
Wayside
act
Park
on the
Committee,
park.
Oh, the bar committee, yeah.
Wayside
Yeah,
Playground.
yeah. I'll be on the wayside with any, let's go in threes then, because you can't really go in fours, because then we have a quorum, so I don't know if you,
Yeah, I'll help you out on the park.
Shane.
okay.
I think I should be on both committees.
Okay, you're on the board.
Okay.
And you know what? You're right, you're on the baseball committee too with us. But we have 4 though. So what we do is then, we go.
Delegating authority.
Huh?
Delegating authority.
Oh, geez, this is.
Barking orders.
Thank you. Thank you. I used to do this for you at the school, and they loved me down at that school. Because I was the only one that spoke up about it. and where the
Donnie, the
money
committee
went.
doesn't necessarily mean that they're making decisions, they're just going to get together
Recommendation.
and recommendations, so, right, so it doesn't matter if there's 3 or 4 members,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're
I
not
know,
making
it's
decisions.
one of those sketchy things, but anyway.
Right?
And we'll bring it to the council.
Well,
How do you
And then
feel
we bring
about
it to the
that?
council.
Wait, let's go right to the
The-
legal advisor.
The committees are just advisory, only
Right.
you guys control the purse strings, it's gotta be brought here before council.
Right. Thank you, Chris.
And I'm
Okay.
going to contact CoStars, just for them to recommend some of these companies that are already under contract to Pennsylvania, so they guarantee the lowest price.
Oh, you mean to do the work?
To buy any
Oh,
equipment.
Craig, who do you have down for the ball?
For the equipment, for
Yeah.
the ball field and the park.
And we need to
I
approach,
wrote down Craig, Kyle, Darren,
Okay, but they're
Joe,
outside.
and Jane.
we need to approach Pioneer again.
Donnie Miller, would you go on with us at the park?
For the Wayside Park.
When you're available and help us out a little bit there with some ideas and
Oh,
thoughts?
because he had the electric.
I think Michelle should be.
I put
too.
Michelle on here too.
Michelle's
He's talking
coming.
about,
Michelle's coming, yeah.
I put Michelle down too.
Right.
And Donnie Miller.
Maybe it'd be good to meet with them in Wood and
Yeah,
go over the
if you think so.
recommendations again and eliminate what we want
Okay.
and decide what we want.
Do you have a pamphlet you said of new things for the park or the paper that
Well,
we picked when Michelle was here?
she gave me some, catalogs, but they weren't all acceptable by CoStars,
Okay, okay.
and we need to stick with CoStars.
Well, then you'll get a new flyer from Woods then?
Well, I think Emily Wood, her father,
Okay.
recommendation, he already assessed the park, let's not do something over again that doesn't, he already knows how much space is available. He already knows what the setback lines are,
Yeah.
and so forth and so on, but we just need to decide. His added up to almost $200,000, so we need to decide what we really want in that space.
The labor is $2,000?
200.
200,000, but that includes the labor
That
and
was-
The labor and
the
Equipment.
and the equipment.
the equipment.
But installation is very expensive on this.
Nice to slash in that budget.
Yeah.
What about, it was 50,000 you had in there for the park,
That was loaded, that was fully loaded, the park,
But-
the way that he had it
The way
designed.
he had
The
it.
$200,000
Yeah,
estimate.
oh, yeah.
Weren't there, did they make up maps?
there was,
Yeah.
they did
Yeah.
have maps.
He had all that, we
And I
just
wish we
ordered.
had the money to do that.
We should put it up on the wall.
Yeah. Why don't you
Yeah.
gather what you can? if
I'll
you
meet
would.
with Emily first and I'll bring it to the next meeting and we'll decide when we wanna meet with her,
Okay.
unless you wanna meet before, but,
Yeah, we could do that, that's fine. If you can get a hold of the plans, we can. do
yeah.
And
Well,
do you have,
Michelle took the plans and I don't have them,
that. Mhm.
that's probably the problem.
do you have a key to the place? And you have a key, Shane? Okay, you can have that meeting here.
Yeah.
When we get together for the ball field, okay? And then we'll go from there with it. All right, anybody else have anything? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Are we sending these in on our own, or somebody sending?
No,
them
I'll
in?
collect them, you give them to me,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Oh,
Got a vote.
all in favor?
Who made the motion?
Aye.
Who made the motion?
Shane did and I seconded.
Oh, why is that?